How you doing? Welcome to today's video. Today I wanted to just try and give you a few quick tips on how to build up some confidence in the early days of stopping drinking alcohol. I think it's important to have confidence. Um, Confidence is very contextualized. That's what we have to look at confidence here. You're not looking at confidence here to try and get to a full life of no more drinking alcohol. That's going to come about as it is. So the first thing I would say to you is just focus your mind on keeping the alcohol out of your mouth. That's all you have to do. Is one decision, and it's a very simple decision to make. The more complicated you make this, the more confused it will be, and the more confused it will be, the more choices you have, the more decisions you have to make. These are all perceived decisions as well. They're not real decisions. The more energy you're going to expend at this, and the less likely you are to succeed. By keeping it simple, by understanding that the stopping drinking alcohol part of this is completely a different process to the breaking the habit part. That the breaking the habit part is the thing that has to happen over years, and it's a gradual process. It's mostly going to be done in your subconscious mind, right? It's mostly done because you're not doing the thing that was keeping the habit alive. In this case was alcohol. So all you have to focus on doing is not putting the alcohol into your mouth. As soon as you put the alcohol into your mouth, you've gone back to square one, in the sense of not in the days or anything like that, but in the sense of you've reiterated the pattern again, if you get what I mean. You've re-established the pattern, not reiterated it. You've re-established the pattern inside your brain, and that's what we don't want to do. So focus on the one thing. Don't put the alcohol into your mouth, right? And we're not trying to do this, as I said. Don't focus on getting to forever. I'm never going to drink alcohol again. I mean, you can say that to yourself, but it takes a long time before anybody who stops this habit in the beginning gets to that stage, where to the mental place where they can say to themselves, yes, this is, I 100% believe that about myself now. I'm confident in the fact that I can do this, and I will never drink alcohol again. I'm confident that I can say this to myself, that I'm never going to drink alcohol again. It takes a long time before you get to that point, right? So all we're trying to do here, over in habitsv2.com, we talk about getting to the first day. So first of all, it's stepping across that line. Then it's getting to the first day. Then it's getting to day 3, right? Then it's getting to day 7. So you've got a week underneath your belt. Then it's getting to 2 weeks. And eventually we're talking about getting to 30 days. Now 30 days is a great milestone to achieve when you're trying to break any habit, because what you're trying to do is, if you're doing something daily, you're trying to get as many iterations under your belt as possible. So once you've got past 30 days, you've got 4 weeks of Monday to Friday, what you would normally do during the week, going to work, coming home, drinking at home. This is what I used to do. So I go to work, have a couple at night when it was at home, and then repeat the process again. And then there's the weekends, which are obviously much more laden with alcohol. So this is all you're trying to do in the early days, is to get to that 30 days. And once you've done the 30 days, you've proved it to yourself that you can do it, and it's a lot easier for you to move on and to get to the next 30 days, if you get what I mean. So that's all we're trying to do in these first few in the first few weeks, is just to get to the first 30 days, right? The second thing is to focus on where you want to go. Most people, when they stop this, is they focus on what they're missing out on. They focus on their past. They focus on what has happened. They used to use alcohol for sleeping. They used to use alcohol for socializing. They used to use alcohol for relaxation or anxiety maintenance, management, right? All of those things. These things are going to pop up, but if you can mostly focus your mind on where you're going, even if that's not something which is readily available to you. When I stopped, there was no way that I could have known that 9 years later I will be in the position that I'm in right now, okay? It just wouldn't have happened. My mind was, I wanted to improve my life, but I didn't know how to improve it. I didn't know what that would look like. and you getting out and exercising more, eating a better diet, but they're all means to an end. What is the end that you want to get to? What is it that you want to look like? What do you want your life to look like? That's very difficult for anybody in a position where, let's say, they're a drinker, to step outside of that and to move into a place where, to the, what we call that the drinker's mind. So it's moving outside of the drinker's mind into the non-drinker's mind. It's not even the non-drinker's mind. It's somebody who lives a life without that instant gratification mindset. That's what we're trying to get to. So it's focusing your mind on the future, and as much as possible, like I said at the beginning, all I wanted to do was just to be a better dad, and I didn't really have much of an inkling about what that meant, or how that was going to manifest itself. I just knew that that's what I wanted to be. I knew I didn't want what I had, right? And it's probably a really good starting place. Decide that you don't want what you've got, and you want to move away from that. And that's all you need to start moving forward. You're focusing on something else, focusing on something better in your life. So the third tip that I'll give you that will give you confidence is that you will never regret the drink that you didn't put into your mouth today, or you'll never regret the drink that you didn't put into your mouth yesterday. That's probably a better way of putting it. Everything, alcohol, whether it's alcohol or it's food or any other drugs, they're in the moment. They're that instant gratification mindset, and this is what I'm trying to get through, is that the instant gratification mindset, as soon as you've done it, as soon as you've eaten the cake, right, it's in your stomach. Then the taste has gone from your mouth, and you might feel satisfied for 5 minutes, but after that, then it's gone. So you'll never regret that the next day, that you didn't eat the cake. You'll thank yourself. You'll be patting yourself on the back and saying to yourself, well, that's a good idea. So there's just three tips there. Think about this as the one thing. That's all you have to do, is you're quitting drinking alcohol. So focus on that one thing. Focus on the future, and where you want to go rather than the past. That's going to bring you a lot more confidence, because you're focusing on positive things rather than negative things. And always remember that you're never going to regret the drink that you didn't take yesterday, right? That it's always in the moment. This desire, the craving, is always in the moment. Yesterday, you're always happy that you overcame the craving, right? You're always happy that you didn't do the thing that you don't want to do anymore. So that's the 3 tips for today. Mark Twain said that man cannot be comfortable without his own approval. And that means that it's nothing to do with what happens to you in your life. It's always how you respond. And your response, it's all about choices and trade-offs. So there's always a choice for what you do, and there's always a trade-off for what you couldn't do, because you've made that choice to do the things, right? So there's always decisions that you can make, and for every decision that you make, there's how many countless decisions that you didn't take, countless possibilities that you didn't take. So alcohol drinking is a choice. If you don't approve of your new life, if you don't approve of the new person that you want to be, if you keep harping back to the past and saying this is the person that you want to become, think about alcohol drinking as being a very ambivalent thing. Most people, when they stop, they want to stop, but they don't want to move away from their lives. The life of the alcohol drinker, the life that you have right now, regardless of what the habit is that you're trying to change, is a safe life, because you know what the outcomes are going to be. You know that when you drink, this is what's going to happen, and this is what's going to happen, regardless of all the bullshit that goes along with that, the hangovers and the damage that's happening. It's a consistent life that you're living, and your expectations are there. What you can expect tomorrow, and what you can expect the next day, and the next day, and the next day. You know what's going to happen. When you change, you throw most of that outside the window. Like I said, quitting drinking alcohol is not about the alcohol at all. It's getting rid of certain mindsets that push you into that way of thinking, push you into that way of behaving, and it's moving away from those mindsets, changing your thinking, changing your rituals, changing your behaviors, changing your habits. These are the things that take time. but these are the things that ultimately change who you are as a person. And it's very difficult, as I said from the beginning, to see where you want to go. If you focus on the long term and say to yourself, well, I really don't know, I can't see myself in that position, or I don't know how I'm going to get to that position, or it can possibly bring about a lot of fear, and it's the fear that can stop people from moving away from alcohol more than anything else. So you have to get comfortable in yourself, and you have to approve of your future self. Do you get what I mean? And one of the surest ways of making sure that approval comes is by doing it gradually. You're not frightening that subconscious part of yourself that doesn't want to move forwards. So think about it like that. I know this was a bit of a mad one today, but hopefully you got something out of it. I will speak to you again tomorrow. Take care of yourself. Onwards and upwards. Bye now.